Ladies, please join us this coming Sunday, the 13th of September at 3 p.m. for our very first Ladies Zoom meeting. We have not seen each other in a long time, and this will be a great time of connection and fellowship. Scan the QR code on the screen for the Zoom link, and you'll also receive it on WhatsApp. If you're unable to connect with us via Zoom, please do let us know on the church WhatsApp number. We will make alternative arrangements to connect with you. We can't wait to see you.
Greetings, People's Family. Welcome to our midweek prayer service. On Sunday's daily devotion, we focused on what I considered to be one of the most complicated topic of worry. And the title was How to Stop Worrying. As soon as I hear that, I think to myself, really? Stop worrying? And I know you're probably thinking the same thing. Worry is almost something that is part of us, something that should be acceptable. And it's interesting looking at one of the key scriptures that we looked at in Psalm 42 verse 5. It says, "Why are you cast down, O my soul? And why are you disquieted within me?" This sounds like a very intense conversation that the author is having by himself and within himself. These were very critical questions that he asked them twice in verse 5 and in verse 11 as well. He is acknowledging that there's something bothering him. He goes on to say, asking God, "Why have you forgotten me? Why do I go mourning because of the oppression of the enemy? As with the breaking of my bones, my enemy reproach me, while they say to me all day long, 'Where is your God?'" Jesus deals with this issue of worry extensively in passages of scriptures that we are very familiar with. In Luke 12 verse 6, he asks a question to help the hearer put things into perspective. He says, "Are not 5 sparrows sold for 2 copper coins?" A copper coin was the smallest coin in circulation in those days, worth about 1/6 of a day's salary. It says, not one of them is forgotten before God. He compares them and says it's almost as if they are worthless in monetary wise, but before God, they are not forgotten. It says, "But the very hairs of your head are all numbers. Do not fear, therefore. You are of more value than many sparrows." Then he said to his disciples in verse 22, he says, "Therefore I say to you, do not worry about your life, what you will eat, nor about the body, what you will put on. Life is more than food, and the body is more than clothing." One of the misconceptions in handling worry is, if I ignore the things that I'm supposed to be worried about, or the things that I'm worried about, then they will disappear. Or if I just trivialize them, if I just say they're not important, food, clothing, shelter, provision, our jobs, families, if I just say that they're not important and I'm focused on the kingdom, then therefore they will go away. But that is not what Jesus is teaching you. He did not say, do not worry because there's nothing to worry about. Or do not worry because those things that you're worried about are not important. He says, do not worry even though there is a lot to worry about. The key difference here is Your needs are not an afterthought to God. He is not surprised by your needs. He is not annoyed when you bring those needs before Him. What is of concern to you, food and clothing, is of concern to God. It is interesting reading different views of psychologists of what people are worried about today. It is not surprising that money, provision, or paying bills, whatever you want to call it, is right there at the top. Looks like there's nothing different or nothing has changed since the days of Jesus. Jesus went straight to the point. He knew what concerned us. Provision. What are we going to eat? If what concerns us was not important, then Jesus would have just kept silent about provision or what we're going to eat or money or those things that weigh us down. But He puts everything into perspective. He says, God has given you life, which is more important than clothing and food. He is not ignorant of the fact that you need to be clothed and you need to be fed. You are always in His mind. You are valuable in His sight. As we take time to pray this evening, let us bring those areas of anxiety before God. Let us open up to Him about those things that are weighing us down. He will not be surprised that you're bringing up those things. And He will not ignore those things that are weighing us down.